And what is up, guys? Black Sign here. Hope you're having an amazing day. And I'm selling all my gear. And here's why. Before we start, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. That helps out with the channel. And let's talk about it. So, it all started when I wanted to record a short or a TikTok or a reel, whatever you watch. And if you don't know, my rig is I have a Marshall DSL 20 watt head paired with Harley Benton 2x12 with vintage 30s. My pedal board is I have a Boss TU3 tuner and Rev G4 and Noise Gate and a Holy Grail by Electronic Harmonics. Long story short, if you haven't watched my amp review, I bought it because I was in a band and it would be really good if I have an amp for the gigs. And I got kicked out. It doesn't matter. We move on, and the amp was just sitting in the box for like 6 months, and I wanted to buy a cabinet so I can do demos and play with it. So I bought a cab. I already had all the pedals, and I bought a Sennheiser E906. That was my latest video, I think, and it was all great until I wanted to record that short, and I got this awesome tone and I wanted to record it, and it sounded like shit, and I didn't know why. I listened to it, it was okay, and when I was in front of the cab it kinda sounded shit. And I looked through YouTube through like that amp reviews, and I watched Ola England's video, and he said like something like whatever I do to this amp it sounds great, and I was like, whatever I do to this amp it sounds shit. So I didn't know what's the problem. By the way, it sounded okay, but that short that I wanted to film, I was playing a 7-string, and it kinda got muddy because of that low string. So it kinda varies, because if you're playing just E standard, maybe it's gonna be different. And I set all the EQs and everything, all the settings like he did, and it didn't sound good. And then I saw that his volume was at around 5 or 6, and mine was maybe at 1 because it was too loud. And when I crank it up to a 5 or 6, if I didn't have like ear protection, my eardrums would explode probably. So yeah, it was too loud, and because I'm in a small room, maybe if I was in a bigger room it won't be a problem, but if you're in a small room and you have a high gain amp with 2 speakers, it's gonna be pretty loud. So yeah, I don't have use for it, and when I was thinking about it, I was like, I can get for like, I don't know, less than $300, I can get a really good plugin like 40 Nameless, and I can buy a new interface, and I can get really good tones, and it won't be a hassle. So yeah, if you're in a Serbian area and if you want Marshall DSL 20 watt head or a cabinet or something, some of my pedals, I'm selling them for like really cheap because I want to sell them as fast as possible. They're really good, but if you can crank the volume, but I unfortunately can't, so I don't have a use for it. I was like looking up to that, is it called like alternators, that I can like lower the wattage so I can crank the volume even more. But when I looked at it, the good ones are like $800 and the amp was like $400, so it doesn't make sense to do that. And this amp was played on like a lower setting, so like a 5 watt setting instead of 20 watt setting. So if I lower the voltage, I'm gonna play on like 1 watt or something, so that doesn't make sense to me. And it's more convenient for me to play through an interface, because every time I played on this amp on the lowest of volumes, I needed to have ear protection because it was so loud. If you were buying this for like a gig practice or for gigging, it's gonna be awesome, but for home playing, it's gonna be a disaster, in my opinion. So if you're thinking buying a amp for your home, maybe consider buying something else, or buying something smaller, or a 1x12, not 2x12, or something like that. So yeah, that'll be it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and let me know in the comments if I'm right or if I'm wrong. At the end of the day, this is just my opinion, and if you want to agree, that's good. If you don't want to agree, it's your problem, I don't know. So yeah, make sure you like, share and subscribe, and I'm Black Sign, and I'll see you in the next video.